Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawashi Ba, Yahawashi Ba, Rachwaa Qadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Salakia. Salakia. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and many blessings and salutations to the hopeful elected house of David, the Thawadah, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. All right, so as you can see on the screen here, there's more going into exposing Esau. And, they call us many different names, talking about those of us who speak the truth, who speak of the Bible, out of the Bible, the words of the Bible, the spirit and power of Yahawashi Ba, Yahawashi, and they demonize us. Well, you know what? Part of our job is not just to prophesy. That's the biggest part. Okay, to be brotherly to us, to each of us that are in this faith, in sincerity, and also those of us to do the best we can in this wicked ass society as much as you can, and try to avoid these people as much as humanly possible. Other than that, what else can you do but expose them? Because that's a part of our job as well. All right, the Lord said that he would expose Esau's nakedness, and he's doing that. He's doing exactly what he said he would do. Okay, the Lord is exposing these devils on such a level that they can't even hide no more. Now they're just coming out and telling you, look, we wanna do this and do that. Children are coming up missing on a daily basis, minute by minute. There's something called Amber Alert. Look, I'm a truck driver, okay? I drive through many different states. I see Amber Alerts all the time. They always hit my phone, okay? So there's children coming up missing all the time. And this is a wicked-ass society. Nobody speaks about this other than the men of the Lord. I'm talking about in truth and sincerity, okay? So this is from the New York Post, okay? All right? For all you that love those Ben and Jerry, those Ben and Jerry creamsicles or whatever the hell I don't really get into names and stuff like that, but I'm sure they're doing quite well. They've been around for a very long time. All right, and they're just one company of many, but I'm highlighting them because guess what? This is a part of Esau's system. Esau bigs up stuff like this. Okay, it says Ben & Jerry's suppliers using child labor despite progressive values, quote unquote. It says Ben & Jerry is among the companies whose supply chains utilize migrant child labor, often in violation of child labor laws, despite the company's self-proclaimed progressive values and vowing to honor and stand with immigrants. Right, so the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. These people are nothing but hypocrites. They spout, and that's why we always we call out the entire system. We ain't one-sided over here. We ain't no goddamn Republican, and we damn sure ain't no fucking Democrats. Okay, we are truly with the spirit and power of Yahawashi Ba, Yahawashi. We don't care nothing about this system. We want the entire system to fall. With that being said, you Democrats are the worst, okay? The worst, all right? The Republicans, at least they're transparent about their bullshit. They're transparent about their hate about you Israelites. That's fine with me, because I hate Edomites. But guess what? Them Democrats, especially those Edomite Democrats, man, they despise you Jakes. But they smile in your face. I would prefer, and I'm from Atlanta, I was born in Atlanta. But I'm going to tell you, I would prefer a fucking snake-ass devil from Georgia, all right, that's transparent about his hate for so-called black people than a goddamn New York Democrat. Ugh. Those are the worst. They pretend and laugh and smile in your face, and they pass laws to keep you down and to keep you, in such a decayed state. And then they go to their brunches together and they laugh about it. And then faint outrage when something happens on social media. These people are nothing but hypocrites, okay? And it says, a New York Times expose released earlier this week interviewed more than 100 migrant children in more than 20 states. 20 states, y'all. So if this one company, you think this one company is the only one doing this? I got a bridge in Utah I want to sell if you believe that. All right, it says, who described jobs that were grinding them into exhaustion, and fears that they had become trapped in circumstances they never could have imagined. The report detailed children as young as 13 working 12-hour days, often overnight shifts. Wow. Before going to school during the day in order to survive. The report said migrant children are employed in the supply chain for major companies like, y'all listen up now, listen up, Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Ford, General Motors, Ben & Jerry's, among others. Esau is a piece of shit, and any of you jakes that ain't talking against Esau, may the Heavenly Father destroy you lest you repent. Esau is a piece of shit. This will not be going on in the kingdom of heaven except for the Edomites, of course. We're going to work your children, okay? We're going to work all of you Edomites, okay? And if you don't meet quota, we're going to get to chopping off noses and fingers and hands and feet, Kuta Kinte style, okay? You Edomites are going to pay, because you better know that a lot of those children are Jake. Most likely, I don't have the numbers, but I'm sure there's a majority of Jakes in that, okay? Probably Northern Kingdom. It says Ben & Jerry, a self-proclaimed or self-described progressive company, told Fox News Digital that it is opposed to child labor while still making money off of it, y'all, and has worked to ensure fair compensation and safety of farm workers. It says Ben & Jerry's is opposed to child labor of any kind whatsoever. The company has an established track record standing for justice and equality, and equity for all, including 5+ years with Milk and Dignity. Well, Milk and Dignity Standards Council ensures that farm workers are fairly compensated for their labor, work in healthy conditions, and builds in additional safeguards for those who are 16 and 17, a spokesperson for the company said. Ben & Jerry, head of values-led sorcering. It says Cheryl Pinto said that if migrant children needed to work full time, it was preferable for them to have jobs at a well-monitored workplace, according to the New York Times. But national child labor laws prevent children younger than 16 from working more than 3 hours or after 7 p.m. on school nights, with the exceptions of farms. Of course. Of course. But Jacob say, no, but it's you camps. No, it's you guys that are teaching this truth. Y'all teaching it all wrong. Y'all teaching the people the wrong thing. Well, I ain't saying a goddamn thing about this. You jakes are full of shit, man. Esau's going down, and if you ain't going to help in him and taking his ass down through the spirit and power of Yahawashi Ba, you're going down with his ass. Make no mistake about it. Ain't no fucking ride the fence in this truth. Ain't no ride no fence, man. You gonna make a decision, or the Lord's gonna make it for you. All right. It says Ben & Jerry, or he actually has made the decision for you. It says Ben & Jerry's has been known for taking a stance on controversial political initiatives, often naming ice cream flavors in support of or opposition to controversial issues. Right. They put Colin Kaepernick ass on one of the damn ice creams. Okay? Colin Kaepernick ain't had nothing to say about this. I wonder why. Then you had the Balenciaga fiasco. And y'all think, and look, and now everything's being exposed on a level where everybody's starting to see Esau for the goddamn devil that he is. We're going to continue cursing this devil out, man. This is sick. This is absolutely sick. You had Balenciaga get called out, putting BDSM wear on children. You got child labor laws being broken, 12-hour days, and still going to school? Working them sun up and sun down, basically slavery. Which we all in slavery. We ain't stupid. We know where we at. We know what time we is, and we acknowledge it. It's you dumbass jakes that think you're free. You're the best type of slave. A slave that thinks he's free. You are the best type of slave, man. Okay? It says in 2018, the company released a new flavor, Pecan Resist, which was designed to send a message about resisting Trump administration. We honor and stand with women, immigrants, people of color, and the millions of activists and allies who are courageously resisting the president's attacks on our values. And what is that value? Child labor? 12-hour days for children who got to still go to school. I guess that's what your quote unquote, okay, values are. Humanity and environment. Ben & Jerry's wrote on its website, we celebrate the diversity of our glorious nation and raise our spoons in solidarity with all Americans. Right. Okay. Right. See, you know, let's just get it. You guys, you jakes that know that you're Israelites, man, this should fucking outrage you. This should outrage you. You should be doing videos about stuff like this, but you are worried about somebody going to hell who happens to be a Jake. You worried about everything else but prophecy. You ain't pushing out that the MOTB is the CHIP, which is being pushed, which will be on a high scale very soon, by the way. You ain't pushing the fact that SNAP benefits are about to expire. You're not pushing the fact that Section 8 is about to get ready to expire. Social Security is about to be taken out of. While they're still funding Ukraine and their war against Russia, which they're going to lose. None of this is being spoken about, but only the men of the Lord are speaking about it. This is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. That's right, he don't care. You know what they're going to do? They're going to get in court. They're going to slap a fine on him. They're going to give him a money judgment, and he's going to go and pay that money off and go continue with his child labor, his breaking of child labor laws, so-called, if you want to call them laws. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, working these children to death, man. And tell them they still got to make the honor roll at school. They still got to have perfect attendance. Yeah. We are definitely in a scenario where it could be described as worst case. But this is the Lord's design. So if the Lord designed it, there's obviously a way out. Yahawashi Ba knows that way out. You got to be of the elect. It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Slavery. That's what he's doing. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him? And this is a parable against him. Videos like this and other videos exposing this devil for what he's doing is a parable against this devil. He doesn't like that. He does not like that. Okay, he's being exposed on all sides. He's being shown for a wicked piece of shit that he truly is. Okay, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? You're going into slavery, boy. It says, and say, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. It says, how long And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, he's building up that tab to the Lord, to the heavens. And the Lord is taking note, man. The Lord is looking at this and like, man, this guy is out of control. He's not out of control, but per se, if you're using it as, as a figure of speech. Okay. He's out of control, meaning I'm going to have to fucking put his ass down. All right. And the Lord is the only one who's going to be able to do it. Nobody else going to be able to do it. Okay. Make no mistake about it. Nobody else is going to be able to put this devil in his place other than Yahawashi Ba Yahawashi. Verse 7, it says, Shall they not rise? Shall they not rise up suddenly and shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? That's right, and that's what they're looking to do. They're doing that to perpetuating slavery, okay? But they're using a nice progressive spin on it. We stand with all Americans while having your children in slavery, working sun up to sundown. Nothing's changed. Y'all people talking about the so-called white man is not all so-called white people. It ain't about skin color. It's about the fucking fact that their forefather is Esau, Edom. Not all of them. Some of them are Jakes that are just wickedly going off. Okay? And their pigmentation at some point was taken from them. We're talking about the Edomites. We absolutely despise Edomites. Edomites are not welcome, in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, once it's been built up, they're not welcome. They will be deleted out of the garden, and will be a prime example for every other nation as to if you want to buck up, this is what happens. Okay? They are a wicked people, man. Okay? Very, very important that our people understand this, but the elect are the only ones that are going to get that. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Does this sound like the righteous are in authority right now? Children are complaining, moaning, crying, saying that we're getting worked into exhaustion. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. His soul is not upright in him, man. He uses opportunity to destroy people even more. Not better the circumstances, not better the situation. Make it worse for them. But the people don't see it. They don't see it because they're comfortable. I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that have made it to a certain level in this society by having to basically sell your soul at certain points. All right? If you got high up, you're going to have to sell your soul. You're going to have to do some wickedness. And not only are you going to have to keep doing it, you're going to have to keep doing it. Okay? Just like with serving the Lord, you can't just go on the highways and byways one time and then, okay, I did the work, Lord. You know what I'm saying? You got to constantly do it. The Lord said, endure unto the end. Hey, what you think is Satan on? Satan is speaking the same message to his followers. Endure unto the end. Keep doing wickedness. Increasing wickedness. Okay? Psalms 10:1, it says, why standest thou afar, O Lord Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Hey, and that would have seemed like, it would seem that way. It would seem that the Lord ain't even watching and paying attention, but the Lord sees all this. But there's a purpose in time that he's going to move. It's according to his word. He's bound by prophecy. And we must respect that. Okay? We're nothing more than worms to the Heavenly Father. Verse 2, it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken into devices that they have imagined. And they're imagining death unto all Israelites. At least 2/3 of the planet anyway. He wants to kill off and have only about 500 million people on the earth. That's a lot of killing. There's 8.7 billion and counting people on the earth right now. That's a lot of killing. What is going to facilitate a lot of that? Pestilence, earthquakes, destruction, nuclear fire. These are things that the Lord has granted unto the Esau Edom. All right, it says, verse 3, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. We got to do something about climate change. Meanwhile, they're working your children in the background, all right, for some goddamn ice cream, 12-hour days and more, breaking all types of whatever they kind of laws they set up, and they're gonna still do it. And they name some names: Walmart, Target. We're in such of a bad case right now that we go shop to these places because we have no choice. The mom and pop stores have been taken out. It says, and blesseth the covetous. All right, those who sold their soul. Okay, you sold your soul to get some riches in this society. You are the covetous that the Lord is talking about. Whom the Lord Yahawah abhorreth. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are grievous. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. And for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That's including the Israelites. That's including other Edomites like the Russians. Okay. That's including, all right, Iran. All right, Moab. He makes no bones about it that he feels that he's going to be in the power seat forever and ever and ever. That's what he thinks, okay? The Lord says otherwise. Verse 6, he says, he have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. That's why you can look at a story like this and he's just like, oh, give me the fine, I'll pay the fine, whatever, okay? He'll pay the fine, he'll bring out a statement. He'll say some encouraging words to try to use unity to bring everybody together. And then they'll play a song at the end and we'll all sing along. These people are the devil, man. And you Jakes ain't got nothing to say about this? It says, verse 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. That's why he's doing stuff like this. Well, obviously he's the devil, but he's doing this because he feels that he can get away with it. Okay, he's what they would say in the police world. He's brazen. Okay. He's a heinous individual, okay? He's brazen, all right? Out in the open with it, okay? This is Wisdom in Solomon 12:2. It says, therefore chastenest thou them by little, them by little and little that offend, and warnest them, but by putting them in the remembrance wherein they have offended. They are offending us right now. They're offending the Lord. It says that leaving their wickedness, they may believe on thee, the Lord, O Lord Yahawashi Ba, our people. Okay. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. We can't say the A to the B to the O to the R to the T to the I to the O to the N to the S. We can't say that on YouTube, but what we can say is that these people, okay, these people are using the same spirits of old, from Sumeria to Egypt. Child sacrifice is a thing in this earth under the heathen. That's why we were described not to do that, or we were prescribed not to do that according to the law, because it would be after heathen practices. These people are sick. Child sacrifice is nothing new, and you bet your ass it's going on here in Babylon the Great. Okay? It says, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and feast of blood, with their priests out of the midst of the idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. A lot of these jakes be selling their own children into these slaveries, man. A lot of these old Jakes be, man, they on some, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to take my little daughter to Hollywood, man. I'm going to fondle my own child. These people are sick. This is a sick-ass world we live in, man. Sick-ass world. Sickest world. Sick-ass world. Sickest world. Sick-ass world we live in. All right? We must acknowledge this and speak against this, okay? Yeah, look at Jesse. Yeah, Jesse Jackass. It says, other politically charged favors have included empowerment released in 2016 to draw attention to claims of voter suppression, and Ido, a temporary name change to the chocolate chip cookie dough flavor in support of the legalization of same-sex marriages. Ben & Jerry's non-dairy frozen dessert changed the world. Honors former NFL changed the world. Honors former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick activisms, okay, in pursuit of racial justice, and his portion of the proceeds are donated to the Know Your Rights camp. The mission of Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights camp is to advance the liberation and well-being of black and brown communities through education, self-empowerment, mass mobilization, and the creation of new systems, and to elevate the next generation of change leaders. So that's enough on that crap, okay? They just skipped all past the fact that these people are working these children, as it says right here, who describe jobs that were grinding them into exhaustion, and fears that they had become trapped in circumstances they never could have imagined. So it turned in from an expose to a puff piece. These people are fucking idiots, man. They're devils, man. Hey, if you got nothing to say about it, and you're a Jake and you know you're an Israelite, man, you going off. You're going off. Lord say to expose these devils. And that's what we're doing. We're exposing these devils, man. Okay? Merciless murderers of children. Okay? Let's play this video real quick. It's like it.
There's growing outrage after a New York Times investigation which found that many migrant children who come to the U.S. without their parents here are working 12-hour shifts or more at factories, even though it violates child labor laws. The Times found that, quote, migrant child labor benefits both under-the-table operations and global corporations. In Los Angeles, children stitch Made in America tags into J. Crew shirts. They bake dinner rolls sold at Walmart and Target. They process milk used in Ben and Jerry's ice cream and help debone chicken sold at Whole Foods. As recently as the fall, middle schoolers made Fruit of the Loom socks in Alabama. In Michigan, children make auto parts used by Ford and General Motors. With us now, Pulitzer Prize-winning New York Times investigative reporter Hannah Dreyer, who broke this story. Hannah, thank you for being with us this morning. You traveled, I know, to several states and talked with more than 100 child migrant workers. What did you learn?
I mean, really what I uncovered is a migrant child labor scandal in America. Kids have been coming across the border in record numbers. More than 300,000 of these kids have come here just since Biden took office. And whereas they used to mostly come and be reunited with their parents, most are now actually going to relatives, distant relatives, sometimes even strangers. And they're ending up in these horrible situations where they're on the hook for rent, for living expenses. A lot of them are in debt to the people that they're living with. And they have to go work the most punishing jobs in the country. So I talked to, like you say, more than 100 kids who were working illegally, jobs they should never have been in. I talked to them outside of meat processing plants, on the top of 3-story buildings where they were doing roofing, just things that, you would have thought had disappeared at the turn of the last century. But what I'm finding is this is happening more and more, and all signs are, thousands of children, even more, are going to be in this situation.
Hannah, I've got to tell you, if folks can, if you haven't already, please look into that piece that the New York Times that Hannah is responsible for. It is just heartbreaking, terrifying. Hannah, there's a ledger there by a small boy who had it on a notepad. He wrote down some of the bills that these people were charging him. I think he's 12 years old, from Guatemala. He owes just money, and the person who is responsible for him here threatens him, like saying, "You mean nothing to me. Be careful." Hannah, these are, and you talk about 300,000. You just mentioned, the number of kids. These are kids that are supposed to, they're not invisible. They weren't just, they didn't come through. The government knows they're here. How is this happening?
You mentioned that 300,000 number. We spoke to nearly 100 people who work with these kids directly, the caseworkers who are assigned to these kids. And across the board, they estimated that some 60% of those kids are probably working full time. So, the scope is enormous. This is happening in every state. And these are not really undocumented children. They haven't come across the border and never been discovered. They've gone through a federal child welfare system where they are processed through shelters. The government is supposed to release them only to people who will take care of them and make sure that they're not exploited. But unlike the federal foster care system, these kids are placed with adults, and then no one checks up on them again. They're sort of on their own. These adults are not their legal guardians. They're people who are sponsoring them. And one thing that advocates say is it could make a huge amount of difference to just have a social worker who would go, see where the kid actually lives, see if they are enrolled in school, and have some adult in these kids' lives who could help them.
This is just terrifying. And what you uncovered about, working 12, 14, 16 hours. We showed the picture that you had on Sunday of the 3 little boys that died. Were injured and died. One of them fell from a roof in construction. There you see them. Take a look at these faces. And Hannah, so this is, exploitation, but who knows what some of these people are subjecting children to, by the thousands in our country.
Oh, absolutely. And child labor laws exist for a reason. They were put in place to protect workers' physical safety. And everybody knows that children are much more likely to get injured than adults. That's why they're not allowed legally to be in roofing or processing or manufacturing. But what we found is that kids are getting terribly injured. Their legs are getting ripped off in chicken processing plants. They're shattering their backs, falling from roofs. And like you say, we found at least 12 cases recently in which these kids have been killed. And even when they're not physically injured, they're threatened. I talked to one boy who had been forced to sleep in a basement. It's just appalling conditions.
And these are, as you say, these are kids that went through the process. Imagine that. Hannah Dreier, I thank you so much for being with us.
And y'all are surprised we call these people out, man. Okay? This is crazy. Wisdom of Solomon 12:7, that the land which thou esteemest above all of other might receive a worthy colony of the Most High's children. Nevertheless, even those thou sparest as men, and didst send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them by little and little. Not that thou wast unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts, or with one rough word, by executing thy judgments upon them by little and little, right? Exposing them. It says, thou givest them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they are a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed, for it was a cursed seed from the beginning. Neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon for those things wherein they sin. For who shall say, who hast thou done, or who shall understand or withstand thy judgment, or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish? Whom thou made, or who shall come to stand against thee to be a revenge for the unrighteous men? Ain't nobody gonna stand up for you Edomites. Look at what you're doing. And you're getting called out by your own. Hey, the scriptures is right on point, man. Let's get it. Okay. Psalm 64. Psalm 64:2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrections of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And so that's what they do. They call us all these different names. They call us terrorists. They call us all these things to try to discourage us. Okay? All right? To try to blacken our name. All right? It says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. That's right. And right now, he's being exposed on a very, very high level, and he can't do anything about it. Isaiah 42:1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Ain't shit tender and delicate about what you doing to the children of this world. Okay? Verse 2, take the millstones and grind the mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. This is a shame, shame, shame. Okay? Count it on you. But you think you're going to get away with it, and you're not. You're not. And pretty soon the Lord's going to send his Redeemer, all right, his kinsman Redeemer, which is Yahawashi, all right, to redeem us from this wicked, hella wicked ass place, and then we can get the hell out of here and watch your precious America burn to the ground as we build, all right, as we build on the ashes of Esau'S kingdom, the kingdom of heaven. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawashi Ba, Yahawashi Ba, Rachwaa Qadash, Shalom to the elect.